श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपरक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Let us read the first verse from the page number 2 of the booklet. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Param Bhuyah Pravakshyami Jnananam Jnanamuttamam Yajñātvā munayas sarve Param siddhimito gataha. Shri Bhagavan Vacha, the Lord begins this chapter with his discourse. We said yesterday, even though apparently Arjuna is not asked any question, but based on what he said in the previous chapter, in the 13th chapter, Lord Krishna feels that certain questions would have arisen in the mind of Arjuna, and those questions or matters should be clarified. Therefore, Lord himself takes the initiative to begin the discourse. Says, Bhuyaha pravakshami, prakarshena vakshami. I will tell you very well. I will tell you in such a manner that no doubts are left in your mind, that knowledge becomes very clear, because this knowledge serves the purpose only when it liberates us. It is the liberating knowledge. Yesterday we told the story of that boatman and a scholar who was riding in that boat, as to how all the knowledge of the scholar was of no use when it came to crossing the river. What you needed was the knowledge of swimming. Similarly also, for what we want to achieve in our life. The human being wants to achieve something in life. We are born with an agenda, whether we know it or not. Most people do not know, but that is a very simple agenda, and that is to be happy, to be free. That is the simple agenda with which we are born. It turns out that happiness or the freedom that I am seeking is, in fact, my own nature. Something unbelievable. How can it be that happiness is my nature and still I find myself unhappy? How is it that in spite of freedom being my nature, I find myself bound, limited? How can it be? So we have a certain feeling about ourselves. We have a certain perception about ourselves. We have a certain conclusion or opinion or notion about ourselves which is quite contrary to the reality about ourselves. Vedanta says it can happen. It is quite possible that we may see a thing quite different from what it is. So Vedanta gives the example of rope snake. That in a situation where there is not enough light, in the twilight and evening, I may see an object lying in front of me. Even though the object is a piece of rope, in my mind, this notion arises, this delusion arises, this is a snake. It's not unusual in our even day-to-day life that we take one thing to be different from the other. Not unusual. While walking on the sidewalk, a friend is arriving, he's arriving from the opposite direction in a scooter. I raise my hands to greet him. Comes closer, I find he's not my friend, somebody else. I'm embarrassed, so then I it's not unusual that we take one thing to be different from what it is. The stock example of Vedanta is the rope snake example. Where there is a rope, it is possible that under certain circumstances we may see it as a snake. And until I come to know that it is rope, for me, understand that snake is real. So it causes real fear in me, a real desire to run away from there. Similarly, the self or the I, which is complete in nature, whole and complete in nature, somehow I take myself to be incomplete, limited, inadequate. The I which is free, I take it to be bound. The I that is immortal, I take it to be immortal, subject to death. The I that is of the nature of consciousness, nature of knowledge, I take myself to be ignorant. The I which is of the nature of happiness, I take myself to be unhappy. Meaning that I am entertaining about myself the ideas, notions which are quite contrary to my true nature. That's what Vedanta teaches. That something like this can happen. Just as when I do not know the rope as rope, it's called rope ignorance, then this delusion or the false notion about the snake can arise. Similarly, I do not know the true nature of myself. I am born with ignorance of my own self. Sometimes people ask question, why Swami? Why is there ignorance? Our answer is, we don't know. It's there. Why is the darkness? It is there. Why is the ignorance? It is there. And this ignorance of the self is somewhat different from the ignorance about other things. Swami, do you know such and such person in Toronto? No. I do not know that person. I just do not know. This is called absence of knowledge. I do not know. One ignorance is of the nature of absence of knowledge. Do I know Russian language? I do not know. Absence of knowledge. But sometimes there is not only absence of knowledge, there is presence of false knowledge. In the rope snake example, not only there is absence of the knowledge of rope, but instead there is a false knowledge that this is a snake. You follow? Non-apprehension and misapprehension. Or in Vedanta they say avaranam and vikshepa, veiling and projection. Meaning that the true nature of thing is veiled from me. The true nature of the object, which is rope, is veiled from me, and what is not there in the snake is what I see. Similarly, ignorance of self also is something similar. I do not know the true nature of myself, and I take myself to be quite contrary to what I am. Not only I do not know that I am a complete being, I take myself to be incomplete. Not only I do not know that happiness is my nature, I take myself unhappy. So Vedanta explains that this ignorance about the self is the only problem we have in our life. Only problem. Problem is one thing, situation is another thing. Our Swami used to say, you are the problem, you are the solution. Or I am the problem, I am the solution. Which I is the problem? The ignorant I is the problem. The ignorant I who entertains all kinds of false, distorted notions about the self is the problem. The enlightened I who has the true knowledge about the self is the solution. Meaning that Vedanta teaches that you have no problem. World is not a problem for me. Should not be. Life need not be a problem for me. The people need not be a problem for me. The world need not be a problem for me. Nothing has to be a problem. Something happened, something did not happen. Something favorable, unfavorable. Gain, loss, success, failure. All of these are situations. They need not impact me. They need not make me sad. They need not make me unhappy. They need not swerve me or deviate me from happiness. Theoretically, we can be happy under any situation. That is how Lord Krishna described a wise person. Dukkeshu anudvignamanaha sukheshu vigataspraha. He is unperturbed by situations which may be called favorable or unfavorable, pleasant or unpleasant. Atmaniva atmana tushtaha, because he is totally satisfied by himself, with himself. It is possible for us to be totally satisfied with ourselves, as we are. It is possible for me to be totally satisfied as I am, with all my limitations, meaning that no real change has to happen in my body or anything for me to be happy as it is. I can be happy with myself. That's a miracle. Because the self is of the nature of happiness. Therefore, this knowledge is a must in the life of a human being. Lord Krishna says, Jnayam, something has to be known. Upanishad says, Atma avare drashtavya. See, Yajnavalkya says to his wife, Hey Maitri, Atma, the self, must be known. Drashtavya must be seen, must be known, must be immediately known. The question, all right, suppose I know the self, so what's the benefit? See, Yajnavalkya says, if you know the self, you as well know everything. If you attain the self, you as well attain everything. If you love the self, you as well love everything. So you want to love everybody? Just love yourself. You want to attain everything? Attain yourself. You want to know everything? Just know yourself. Simple formula. Meaning that if I do not know myself truly as I am, and I go around the whole world knowing millions of things, that will be zeros without one. And therefore, the only knowledge that counts is the knowledge of the self. Other knowledge is luxury, or Swami would say. This is a necessity, rest is all luxury. A wise person knows the self, has a luxury. I want to learn French? You may. I want to see New Zealand? All right. You may or may not. So when it doesn't matter whether your desire is fulfilled or not, then you can afford all desires. So this is the knowledge that Lord Krishna imparts in Bhagavad Gita. This is the main topic of Bhagavad Gita and of Upanishads. So Lord Krishna, Bhuyaha Pravakshami, again I will tell you. Again, I will tell you about the nature of the self, so that you know yourself as you are. Jnananam jnanamuttamam. Jnananam, among all forms of knowledge. Said yesterday, many forms of knowledge are there. There is astronomy, astrology, astrophysics, geology, all kinds of things are there, which are wonderful things to know. But all that knowledge will leave me as incomplete as I am. None of them will ever give me a self-satisfaction. If it does, it will be only temporary. Nothing can give me a lasting satisfaction. Because the notion that I am incomplete doesn't go. By knowing the non-self, the notions or the delusion or the ignorance of self doesn't go. Jnananam jnanamuttamam. It is the most exalted knowledge among all forms of knowledge. Param jnanam, because by gaining this knowledge, Arjuna, you will be liberated in your life. So in second line, Lord Krishna says, Yad jnatva muniyas sarve param siddhi mito gataha. Yad jnatva, gaining which knowledge? Who can gain the knowledge? Lord Krishna, munayaha. Munayaha. Muni, you know, Rishi Muni. So word Muni comes from man, means to mananam, to reflect, to deliberate, to meditate, to know. So Munaya, those whose nature it is to reflect, deliberate, contemplate. The contemplative ones. Munaya, the sages, you may say, but with the sage, what is Muni? Muni means a contemplative one. So this knowledge calls for a mind that is a contemplative mind. There are two kinds of mind. basically. One is an active mind. Other is a contemplative mind. One is an outgoing mind. Other is an inward-looking mind, an abiding mind. We need both. For doing our day-to-day work, we require an active mind, no doubt. But for knowing things, for understanding things, even understanding physics, chemistry, mathematics, even anything you want to understand, you require a contemplative mind. Is it not so? You require a mind at peace with itself, a quiet mind, an inward mind. Right now, for example, listen to this talk and benefit from it. We require a mind that enjoys certain poise, a certain quietude, a certain contemplativeness. So Muneha, Lord Krishna says, Muneha, the Munis, the sages, the contemplative ones, Yajñātva, gaining which knowledge? So by using a Muneha, Lord Krishna in a way is telling us what is the disposition of mind required to gain this knowledge. You require a contemplative disposition of the mind. That doesn't come just like that. It requires a lot of work. Our mind is usually outgoing. It wants to do things. It wants this, it wants that, all kinds of things it wants. The mind is riddled with many desires, many ambitions, many expectations. Is it not so? Many agendas, many things to be done. How to finish this, how to finish that. There is going on in the mind most of the time. Sometimes even when you come here, that still goes on. If you left some work incomplete at home, then the mind says, okay, after I go home, then I have to do this. I have to complete this thing, I have to complete this cooking, whatever. If you are knitting a sweater, then sometimes the mind says, okay, then I have to take this kind of stitches, etc. Because the mind is concerned about its agenda. If it doesn't do things, then it won't accomplish something, then it will be left without some benefit. So as long as I see some benefit in doing things, so long the mind will want to do things. Is it not so? This is a mind which is riddled with desires. So what will a contemplative mind? A mind that has essentially become free from desires. In Vedanta we call it Vairagya. Vairagya, you know, Raga, Viragasya Bhavaha Vairagyam. The state of Viraga is called Vairagya. What is Viraga? V plus Raga. What is Raga? Attachment. We will see. That whole chapter is meant for that. To understand the mind. This is a beautiful chapter which explains the disposition and working of our mind. Very beautiful chapter. So Raga means attachment. When there is Raga, there is also going to be Dvesha, aversion. So attachment and aversion, they always go together like the two sides of a coin. We'll discuss that. What is Viraga? A mind from which Raga has gone away. Vigataha, Ragaha, Yasmat, Saha, Viragaha. Some of you are learning Sanskrit. Vigataha, Ragaha. That from which Raga has gone away is called Viraga. Viragasya Bhavaha Vairagyam. The abstract now. The state of the mind from which all the Raga has gone away, that state is called Vairagyam. The Raga can go away, only Dvesha goes away. Therefore, a state of mind which is essentially free from raga and dvesha. This raga and dvesha are called the impurities of the mind. Why are they called impurities? Because when the mind is overcome by either raga or dvesha, I feel uncomfortable. I cannot feel comfortable with myself when my mind is attached to something, because then it wants that. What is attachment? When I cannot do without something. That kind of a feeling was something I cannot do without it. That is called attachment. And there are so many things without which I cannot do. So mind will keep on dwelling about them. Even my job, my project, my promotion, my spouse, my child, my home, my this, that, my car, many things. So their being in our life is very important. Their being favored is very important, because upon them depends my comfort and happiness and security. Therefore, there are many things towards which I have attachment. Those things without which I cannot do. Those things which are very important for me, for my comfort and security. So when you go home today, make a list. What are the inevitable things in my life? With the same token, we will have another list also of things that I cannot stand. I cannot have them. There are things, the presence of which makes me uncomfortable. There are things whose absence makes me uncomfortable. There are other things whose presence makes me uncomfortable. I can't stand some people. I can't stand some situations. Can't stand some places, etc. That presence in my life makes me uncomfortable. I can't have them. As long as raga and dvesha are there in our mind, mind is uncomfortable. Is it not so? An uncomfortable mind, a mind not at peace, cannot be a contemplative mind. It can't. It requires poise. It requires focus. It can be a focused mind. Therefore, Vedanta teaches that one of the important initial preparations is to make the mind free from raga and dvesha. How do you do that? By karma yoga. All that has been discussed in the Bhagavad Gita earlier. Well, what is karma yoga? Simply stated, karma yoga is performing, karma means duty. Performing my duties without raga and dvesha. Performing, you say, duty in a selfless spirit. Performing my duty in the spirit of offering. See, we do our duties all right. Particularly you are brought up in India, we are duty conscious and duty bound. We do not perform those duties necessarily happily. We do duties, but with resistance, with resentment. This mother-in-law who does not treat me properly, and still I do all these things, so I do. But with resistance, with resentment. Some people have an uncanny knack of pushing our buttons and invoking raga, dvesha, likes and dislikes. That's what they do. Some people do that. Some situations do that. Some events do that. Then whatever we do will be only influenced by the raga, dvesha. Similarly, mother-in-law pushes my button. I'm sorry to give that example, but this is our Swami's example. I don't like to talk about mother-in-law, etc. But anyway, X, Y, Z. Pushes my button. Then I may serve that person outwardly, inwardly with resistance, with resentment. So if you look at ourselves, we have been performing duties for the whole life. And the duty is meant for self-growth. Duty is meant for purification of mind. Duty is meant to make me happy. Duty is meant to make my mind contemplative. On the other hand, in many people, the duty has created a very disturbed mind, a mind which is hurt, mind which has a lot of resistance, resentment. So not simply performing duty. Performing duty cheerfully. That's a tough job. Not only performing duty, but performing cheerfully. This person cheerfully. Only when I have seen that person, Bhagavad, not the person as the person is, but there is Narayana there. And I'm only serving Narayana, not this person. Then perhaps it may be possible for me to do that duty without resentment, without resistance, may be happy. So, it's very important to do things happily, cheerfully. Even about all activities that we do, all of them can become karma yoga. If we do that activity happily, making a cup of tea, vacuuming the house, mowing the lawn, shoveling the snow, whatever it is. Shoveling snow, the mowing lawn, I just hate those things, Swami. I hate so many things. Keep avoiding them until neighbor sends me a notice that your grass is so tall and I am going to call the police. I don't shovel the snow until a point comes and I can't go out of the house. There are things that we don't like. There are things that we like. We like to do what we like and like to avoid what we don't like. Na dveshti kusalam karma kusale nanushajyate. Describing karma yogi, Lord Krishna says that one does not resent things that is unpleasant, nor does he easily attach to something that is pleasant. Anyway, this is briefly what I am saying is, what is karma yoga? Performing karma, performing your day-to-day routine cheerfully as an offering to Ishvara. That is how the raga dveshas will go. We gain a contemplative mind. We become muni. Muni means a mananam, manana-shila. Shravanam, mananam, vididhyasana. Munaya sarve, Lord Krishna says, yad jnatva munaya sarve. Gaining this rich knowledge, all the munis, all the contemplative sages, param siddhim ito gataha. Second line, param siddhim gataha. Gataha. They have attained. What? Param siddhim. What is siddhi? Success. Param siddhim. Not only success, ultimate success. The success behind all success. The success that we are really truly seeking in our life, that's success. This local success comes and goes. That I passed a test, that's a success. Good. I got a job, that's also a success, which is nice. But they are not param siddhim, they are not supreme successes. They are the transitory success which comes and goes. I want a success that gives me satisfaction once and for all. Param siddhim. The ultimate success in life. What is the ultimate success? Very simple. The ultimate success in life is this simple success that I am happy with myself. That's all. When we say that we are seeking happiness, you know what it means? It means that I am simply seeking happy to be with myself. I want to be at peace with myself. Because I have the most problem with myself. I am not happy with myself. I do not accept myself. In fact, very often I reject myself. I condemn myself. Why? Because I am limited. I am inadequate. I am incomplete. I am mortal. I am ignorant. So therefore, when I find truly what I am, that I am Satchit Ananda, I am existence, I am awareness, I am Ananda, happiness, whole. When I discover that about myself, there is no reason to be dissatisfied with myself. Complete satisfaction with myself when I truly see myself as I am, then I am completely happy with myself, completely satisfied with myself. Swami, that sounds very selfish, satisfied with myself, but what about others? One simple rule is, when I am happy with myself, I will be automatically happy with everything else. You know? I need not do anything separately to be happy with you if I am happy with myself. And if I am not happy with myself, it is not possible to be happy with anything else. All our complaints outside about things are basically complaints about myself. The dissatisfaction I have about things outside, people and situations, is basically dissatisfaction I have about myself. And I cannot be satisfied with myself as long as I see myself as an incomplete being, as an inadequate being, as a limited being. I cannot be satisfied. It's only when I discover that limitlessness is my nature, wholeness is my nature, completeness is my nature, which is what Lord Krishna will reveal. Param bhuyah pravakshami jnananam jnanavatvam. That most exalted knowledge I will reveal today. Jnatva, gaining which knowledge? The contemplative sages have attained the ultimate success, which is moksha. Vedanta calls it moksha. What is moksha? Liberation, freedom. What kind of freedom? Unconditional freedom. Unconditional liberation, unconditional happiness, which is my nature. In short, Lord Krishna, in his first verse, tells us what he is going to tell us in this chapter. I am going to reveal that knowledge, gaining which nothing remains to be known, gaining which nothing remains to be done, gaining which nothing remains to be accomplished. When you have the satisfaction of having known everything, satisfaction of having gained everything, satisfaction of having accomplished everything, that knowledge I will tell you. Before proceeding to the main topic of this chapter, the second verse, Lord Krishna tells us the process of creation. How the universe comes in to be created. How the universe comes to be in the being. comes to being. So let us read the next verse. Mama yo nirmahad brahma tasmin garbham dadhamyaham sambhavas sarva bhutanam tato bhavati bharata. Pick up that handout which has the Swami's picture on it. There are two of them. One is Shanti Mantra, other is that which contains the verses. And make sure that you bring it back tomorrow. If you are not coming tomorrow, place it back here, okay? Because we have limited copies. So Lord Krishna described the process of creation. Lord Krishna says, I create. Yesterday we told you who is Krishna. It's important to know who Krishna is. He is not just an ordinary teacher. He is not just even a great man, you know. He is the very incarnation of the Lord. Ishvara. Who is Ishvara, the Lord? Sarvajnaya, omniscient. Sarvashaktiman, omnipotent. Sarvavyapi, omnipresent, the creator, sustainer, dissolver, omniscient, omnipotent. That is called Ishvara, that is Lord. That Lord himself incarnated as Krishna, as Shri Krishna. So when Lord Krishna says I, doesn't mean the person Krishna. He means the Lord, Ishvara. Param Brahma. Here he says I means what? Param Brahma. Param Brahma what? The supreme truth. The supreme self. The limitless self. The ultimate reality. So that is why Lord Krishna is a pronoun I. We should understand what that I means. Mama is what, you know? What is mama? Means mine. Which case is that? Mama is which case? Yes, go ahead. Which is it?
Sixth.
Who said it?
Sixth.
Sixth case, yeah. Of which word? Asmat. I. So in English also, the sixth case of I is what? Mine. So mama means mine. My or mine. So mama yoni. What is yoni? The womb, you know. So here Lord Krishna is the same model. The model of regular procreation or creation. In the worldly life, the creation or procreation takes place when there is the union of male and female. That model Lord Krishna uses here. Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha, the person, the spirit, the consciousness. Prakriti, the matter, the Maya. Therefore, the matter is usually used in the female, feminine gender. And the consciousness used in the masculine gender. Not as a rule, but gender, often. Therefore, the consciousness of Purusha. And the matter is called Prakriti. Vedanta also calls it Maya. Thus, these two entities are required for any creation to take place. Purusha alone is not enough to create. Prakriti alone also is not enough to create. Neither male nor female. You need the union of the two. So, imagine a state of complete pralaya or dissolution. You see, our scriptures explain that this universe is a cyclic phenomenon. Creation, sustenance, dissolution. Creation, sustenance, dissolution. Like sleep, waking, sleep, dream, waking, sleep, dream, waking. So sleep to waking, waking to sleep. Cyclic. Seed, tree. Seed, sprout, tree. Seed, sprout, tree. Cyclic, right? Or water, cloud, rain. Water, cloud, rain. Cyclic. So phenomena in the universe are all cyclic. See, the universe itself is cyclic. It gets created in a given cycle. Creation takes place, sustained for a period of time, which we call a whole cycle, and then it folds up. The modern science also teaches us that the universe is expanding. From Big Bang, expanding. Keeps on expanding at what rate? It's a crazy rate, mind-boggling rate it is expanding. All the galaxies are, I guess, getting away from each other, isn't it? How will it go on? Until it runs out of steam. How long can it expand? Until it runs out of steam. Then what will happen? It start contracting. That's the model that the scientists also give us. From the cause, the effect expands, sustains for a period of time, and dissolves back into the cause, isn't it? From cause to effect, from effect to cause, from seed to fruit, from fruit to seed, from gold to ornament, ornament to gold, right? From gold you make all ornaments, you melt the ornaments, go back to gold. So Lord Krishna describes the typical cycle of creation. There is no first cycle of creation, as far as Vedanta is concerned. As far as science is concerned, this is the only cycle of creation. The universe got to be created, 14 billions, that number keeps changing. Sometimes it used to be 19 billions, 18 billions, 15 billions, 14 billions. What's the latest number? I don't know, 13.5 billion, something like that. Years ago, there was a Big Bang. What was before that? We don't know. The universe is a miracle. He gave me some very nice statements by scientists. The true scientists are really, they see the need of accepting something called God. And this universe cannot be an accident. It cannot be an evolution. Simply what we call the selection, It can't be a result of natural selection. There has to be a supreme entity, an intelligent entity, which has made everything perfect. For the earth to be what it is, and for the life to be there on the earth, so many variables have to be arranged in a perfect manner. If things are slightly different from what they are, this life would not have been possible. The creation may not have been possible. Universe may not have been possible. We don't know all this, but scientists know. Even in the beginning of creation also, some variable has to be precisely what it is. If precisely things were not what they were, nothing would have been possible. In natural selection, there can't be that precision. It's a trial and error thing. It's not a trial and error. The universe is not trial and error. So they feel that there has to be God. Whatever you call God, Ishvara, a supreme being, possessing supreme intelligence, which is mind beyond the scope of our mind. Can't even imagine how everything is set up in a perfect manner. More we know about creation, more amazement there is, more wonder there is. Scientists are enjoying wonder, really. Those who look at night in the galaxies and stars, they enjoy the whole night they spend in observing wonders that are happening in the sky. Those who take those microscopes and examine the subatomic particles, they enjoy that wonder. There are those who are observing the life, another wonder. Wherever you look, there is wonder. That shows omniscience, not just knowledge, omniscience, all knowledge. The other day you pointed out, you look at anything and you can see omniscience. Look at one thumbprint, and whoever has created this thumbprint must be all-knowing. Because this is a unique thumbprint. In the present time, nobody else out of 7 billion people, nobody has this kind of thumbprint. And how many have gone, we don't know. So in England, they say, when a person passes away, when he says, he has joined the majority. Because those who have gone are majority, isn't it? Because from time beginning they are going away, and so there must be huge accumulation there. So that majority did not have this thumbprint. And what majority will come in future? Huge. And none of them will ever have this thumbprint. The intelligence community is very sure of this. Otherwise they cannot be collecting all fingerprints in their database to trace the perpetrator, trace whoever they want to trace. They cannot trace me unless this thumbprint is unique. Meaning that the one who has made this thumbprint knew what all thumbprints have gone back in the past, what all is going to come in future, and what all is there in the present is not so. This universe is a creation of intelligence that's all-knowing. Not that stupid natural selection. You just know this much and not further. Anyway, I have no business to say I'm not an authority at all, so I can't dismiss one thing or the other. But Vedanta says, yes, Sarvagnya, Sarvavit. Vedanta says the Ishvara is all-knowing. In general, all-knowing in particular. Yasyesha Mahima Bhavi, of which the glory is evident in the universe. The Ishvara. Yes, Sarvagnya Sarvit, Yasya Jnanamayam Tapah, whose tapas or penance of nature of knowledge. So that is I. When Lord Krishna says I or mine, that is the Lord is talking about. Mamayoni, my yoni, my womb, meaning the material cause. The mother can be called the material cause, the father can be called the intelligent cause. Nimitta karanam, upadana karanam. As we explained, for any creation, we need this twofold cause. Nimitta karanam, the maker, upadana karanam, the material. For making a pot, we require a pot maker and we require clay. For making an ornament, we require a goldsmith, we require gold. For making universe, we require a creator and the matter from which the creations take place. That matter principle, the primordial matter principle is called Prakriti or Maya or the creative power. It's called power because power is never separate from the one who possesses power. Understand? So Prakriti is not separate from Purusha. Prakriti or Maya is not separate from Ishvara. So my Prakriti, my Maya, I place, he says, I am pregnant. You know what, this is just a model. What it means that, imagine the dissolution state. That's why I say it's a cyclic thing. Before, as we would say, before the creation of universe in this cycle, what was there? The state of unmanifest, the causal state, the unmanifest state. It is comparable to sleep. The creation is comparable to waking, and the dissolution is comparable to sleep. Understand that in deep sleep state, I very much remain, I exist, isn't it? Even when I am fast asleep, I don't disappear, I don't pass away, I exist. If I did not exist in deep sleep, would I wake up in the morning? If I did not exist in deep sleep, would I wake up in the morning? Or, when we wake up in the morning, do you ask, who has woken up? Who am I? When we wake up in the morning, does this question arise, who am I? From where have I woken up? No. When I wake up in the morning, I know that I, who had gone to sleep, is the one who has woken up. Is it not so? I, who was sleeping, is the one who has woken up. Isn't that our knowledge when we wake up in the morning? Not that a new I has woken up. I did not know who am I. No, I know. I that was yesterday is the I that is today. I that was sleeping last night is the I that is woken up. Is the continuity, is it not so? So then what is the state in the deep sleep? I was there. My personality also was there, my mind also was there. All of the unmanifest. The causal state. Like the seed state. Like, what is manifest? Like a lump of gold. The goldsmith takes a lump of gold and makes ornaments. Right? So before making ornaments, where were those ornaments? Before the ornaments were made, where were those ornaments? Where were they? In the gold, isn't it? If they were not there, the goldsmith could not have made them, isn't it? Can goldsmith make idlis out of gold? Can a pot maker make chapatis out of clay? No, because chapatis are not potentially there in clay. Pot is potentially there, that way he can create it. He doesn't even create. It's already there. You know what he does? He brings to manifestation what is in unmanifested. What is potential, he brings to manifestation. So cause means potential. Unmanifest. Effect means manifest. So what is creation? Unmanifest to manifest. What is dissolution? Manifest to unmanifest. What is creation? Lump of gold to ornament. What is dissolution? Ornaments melted into lump of gold. The cause becoming effect is creation. Effect merging back into cause is dissolution, right? That's what goes on. Can you imagine that? Universe is going on from the time beginningless. Vedanta has an answer what was there before the creation. Science doesn't have an answer. Because the mind doesn't work in unmanifest. The mind itself is not there. Anyway. So Lord Krishna says the beginning of creation. See, in the deep sleep we are there, but all our powers are all sleeping there. You may be an engineer, you may be a doctor, you may be a sculptor, you may be a musician, you may be a cook, be a driver, whatever you are. Deep sleep state, all those powers are sleeping, isn't so? When you wake up, then the doctor becomes doctor, engineer becomes engineer, sculptor becomes sculptor, artist becomes artist, musician becomes musician. You know what has happened? His power of being musician, or artist, or sculptor, or doctor, or engineer, which power of creating power was sleeping has been woken up. Isn't it? In fact, imagine that you are a sculptor. Or a sculptor, imagine a sculptor. He is walking by. He sees a big rock. Immediately when a sculptor sees a rock, he sees in the rock a beautiful image of Christ or Krishna or Buddha or whatever it is. He sees that and immediately starts working. So until now, his creative power of sculpting was potential, was dormant. As soon as he sees a rock, the dormant power becomes manifest, and then only he can work. That fellow cannot do the sculpting unless the power of sculpting has become evident. You know, sometimes in the satsang, you say, please sing. We ask somebody to sing. He says, no, I can't sing. Please, sing. So some people are starting trouble, starting trouble. Something he does. What does he or she, what do? They are only invoking that, singing from themselves. Takes a little while, and then he starts singing. Otherwise, they will do something like that. Ultimately, to invoke from themselves the tuning up, that's singing. Singer the person is, but becomes singer only when the dormant ability to sing becomes evident. Is it not so? Even cooking or even doing anything. Sometimes you just don't feel like doing it, don't feel like cooking. Sometimes you feel like that. When the cooking thing becomes evident, then only you can cook. Sometimes you say, I don't know drive today. The driver in me does not become evident. Sometimes I want to drive today. Why? Because the driving which was dormant has become evident. Is that clear? How the creative power is there, but merely having creative power is not enough. That power may be dormant and has to be woken up, has to be enlivened, has to be woken up. When we are sleeping, all our powers also are sleeping. When we wake up, those powers also are woken up or enlivened. Then only we can do things. So Lord also is sleeping in the deep sleep, in the dissolution. He doesn't sleep, but his power, Maya, is sleeping. In dissolution, that Prakriti or Maya or primordial matter is what? Sleeping. Causal state, unmanifest state, dormant state. So you know what? For Lord now he wants to assume the role of creator. In the deep sleep, in dissolution or creator, he's just the Lord. You follow? When can he become creator? When his creative power is woken up. Is it not so? That's what he means when he says, I impregnate the Maya. Meaning I enliven the Maya. The Maya, the creative power, the sleeping, dormant in the state of dissolution. When the time comes for creation, I wake it up. So in Upanishads, some of you may have studied the Upanishads may know. The Upanishad describes, in the beginning of creation they say, So kamayata bahusyam prajayeti. The Lord desired, a desire arose in the mind of the Lord. May I create, may I become many, may I become manifest. Is it not that before we do something that desire arises, may I cook, may I drive, may I sing? If that doesn't happen, then the action doesn't take place. So that desire wakes up the potential power that you have. Right? May I cook. Then all your cooking becomes, surfaces. May I sing. They remember the song, all raga, everything comes. May I walk, may I talk, may I do yoga, whatever you want to do. Any action is preceded by desire. Desire invokes that power. That's how Upanishad describes. In the beginning of creation, Lord desired. May I create. May I become many. May I be born. May I become manifest as the universe, etc. So that is what is enlivening the Maya or the creative power. That Maya or the creative power was sleeping. Power was there, but was dormant. It is enlivened. And then the creation takes place. So that's how Lord Krishna here describes the process of creation. How the universe has come into being. Maya is the material cause. And consciousness is the efficient cause. When there is union between the two, then the creation takes place. Purusha and Prakriti, Shiva and Shakti. The Lord Krishna says, not only did I create the universe in the beginning, wherever any creation takes place, it is I who creates. The verse after that in the Gita says, Sarvayonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavantiyaha sasam brahma mahadyonihi aham bija pradapita. Here Arjuna, wherever any birth takes place, in any species, not only human beings, but wherever any birth takes place, it may be an animal, it may be an insect, it may be a flower, it may be a seed, it may be anything. Understand that is my Maya, that is the matter, and I, the self, the universe, the Ishvara, the consciousness is the one who enlivens them. That everywhere I am the creator and my Maya is what creates. We may be parents, all right. We can claim I am the parents. I procreated my child. That is true. But we are all instruments. The real parents, who are the real parents? Ishvara and Maya are the real parents. He is the father, Maya is the mother. That Maya alone becomes every mother. And that Ishvara alone becomes every father. Or in every father, he is the creative power. In every mother, she is the creative power. Every father, he is the creator. So Lord Krishna says, I am the creator. And my Maya is the material from which creation takes place. The Maya is the material cause, I am the efficient cause. So this is all said to Arjuna in answer to the potential questions that were arisen in Arjuna on account of what was stated in the earlier chapter. Now we come to the main topic of this chapter. Lord Krishna explains the bondage. What binds us? If you understand the bondage, then you can understand liberation. You follow? If you understand ignorance, we can understand knowledge. Understand bondage, we can understand how liberation can take place. So first, Lord Krishna explains bondage. Then he will explain the liberation. So let us read the next verse. Sattvam rajastama iti guna prakriti sambhava nibadnanti mahabaho dehe dehinam avyayam. Sattvam rajah tamah. Sattvam rajas tamas. I believe that most of you must have heard these words. Sattvam rajas tamas. Gunaha. They are called gunaha. Guna. So gunas are translated as qualities or dispositions. Qualities or dispositions. That our mind is made up of these three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. Lord Krishna will explain what is sattva. Sattva is purity. So sometimes the mind is sattvic. When the mind enjoys purity, tranquility, cheerfulness, transparence, contemplativeness, peace. That is the sattvic state of mind. Sometimes the mind is predominant in rajas. That mind is restless, active, aggressive. Lord Krishna will explain. Sometimes the mind is under the influence of tamas. It is dull, inactive, sleepy, lazy. Sattva, rajas, tamas. So this is a Sankhya model. We have 6 schools of thoughts in India we had in the Vedic times. Sankhya and Yoga, Vaisheshika and Nyaya, Mimamsa and Vedanta. Sankhyas were pretty intelligent people. So Sankhya, everybody has their own model of explaining the universe. So Sankhya has explained that the universe is made up of these 3 sattva, rajas, tamas. Wherever you see, you will find the presence of sattva, rajas and tamas. Sometimes we are in front of a mountain, beautiful trees and clouds, and there is all peace and silence. Imagine you are at Mount Kailas. In America, in North America, so many beautiful sights are there, panoramic sights. You are there, just feel at peace, is it not so? Sometimes when you go to certain places, you just feel, you become, feel at peace with yourself. The mind becomes sattvic. Because that whole environment also is very tranquil, very peaceful, sattvic. That is the manifestation of sattva. Go to Times Square in New York. All activity. The wind blows, the water rushes, the fire burns, the earth vibrates. So all the manifestations of activity. So some place we go and we become disturbed, or we also become agitated, or we become also active. This in universe there is tranquility. In universe there is activity also, isn't it? That is the product of rajas. And in universe also there is dullness. That is the tamas. Inertia, dullness, tamas. In our mind also sometimes tranquility, sattva. Sometimes agitation, rajas. Sometimes dullness, tamas. Even Vedanta explains that our body, mind and sense complex also is a product of three gunas. This gross body that we see, this gross tangible body, it is explained that it is a product of tapas. Then we have the organs of action. And we have the prana. Prana means the vital air which powers those organs of action. That is the product of rajas. And we have the organs of perception with which we gain knowledge. We have a mind with which we gain knowledge. So we have knowing faculties. Organs of perception and the mind are the knowing faculties. They are the creations of sattva. In our own personality, there are knowing faculties, there are acting faculties, and there are inert faculties. So mind and organs of perception are products of sattva. The prana, organs of action are the products of rajas. And the gross body is the product of tamas. Right? So prana, the organs of action, are products of what? Okay. Right away forgot. The body is a product of what? I know, 3-4 people answer. The mind, organs of perception are products of sattva. We'll find out that where sattva is, knowledge is. Where rajas is, activity is. Where tamas is, dullness is. So Lord Krishna says, Sattvam rajas tamahiti gunaha prakriti sambhavaha. Prakriti here stands for primordial matter. The matter in a state before the creation. In the state of dissolution, all the three are there, sattva, rajas, tamas are there, but they are inactive state, they are in balance. Have you seen the billiard? The billiard balls are all arranged, all in balance, no movement. Take that thing and do tick. All the balls are starting to roll and a lot of activity is there, isn't it? So before activity, when there was no disturbance, it was in a potential state. A little disturbance, all activity starts. So imagine that before creation, in the state of dissolution, these three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas, all of them are in balance. At that time, no activity takes place. It's called pralaya, dissolution. The Lord Krishna says that I enliven my maya, meaning that those three gunas which are in balance are disturbed. He says, let me create, and that disturbs those three gunas. That's how the process of creation starts. Then those gunas start mixing with each other in different proportions, and you have the whole universe. So gunaha prakriti sambhavaha. These gunas are the manifestations of Prakriti, the primordial matter, which itself is made of three gunas, and three gunas become manifest. The universe is made of three gunas, and our personality is also made up of three gunas. The body made of which guna? The mind made of which guna? Very good. And the prana? It is that much we can take home today, tonight. Take home part. So this personality, the body, mind, sense complex that we call it, is a product of three gunas. Prakriti sambhava, they are the manifestation of Prakriti, the primordial matter. Nibadnanti mahabaho, dehe dehinam avyayam, the second line says. Nibadnanti, these gunas bind. Badnanti bind. Nibadnanti bind very well. Not only bind, but firmly bind. Ni. Nischayana badnanti, they firmly bind. He Mahabaho. Mahabaho means mighty armed. Who is mighty armed? You know, Arjuna. Hey, mighty armed Arjuna. You mean mighty armed, all right, but you are bound by these three gunas, like a, guna also means a rope, by the way. Just as, imagine a rope made of three strands becomes very strong. A single strand may not be that strong, but when you twine things with three strands, it becomes very strong. Similarly also, this rope of bondage, made of three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, nibadnanti he mahabahu, O mighty arm, Arjuna. Dehinam, the indweller of the body, which is a self. Nibadnanti, dehe nibadnanti, they bind him with the body. They tie him with the body. So we are as though tied with the body by these three gunas. So we'll continue that discussion tomorrow. Now we are coming to the main topic of this 14th chapter. We'll continue.